From Joel, dear Supreme Lord Klavan. Now we're getting down to it, you know. I mean, come on, it's just Klavan, you know. Dear Supreme Lord Klavan, creator of nymphs and rightful heir to the throne of Galliana, which is the kingdom in another kingdom. I've really been enjoying the work of your children, Spencer and Faith, which I really appreciate. They are doing incredibly good work. Faith's pieces, which are over at PJ Media, are really insightful and heartfelt. And Spencer recently made an appearance on the Michael Knowles Show, which elevated it to the level of watchable, which I have to say, who says something for my son, because that is almost almost impossible. From where I stand, it seems you have managed to raise some amazing children. Well, my wife raised some amazing children, but I was there. I was a participant. I am a young, struggling father of twin boys and two little girls, all under 5 years old. I pray every night that they would grow to be followers of Jesus, but I often find my own example undermines all I try to teach them. I struggle with anger and impatience in a way that I never did before having kids. I had a terrible relationship with my own father, and as a result, feel woefully under-equipped to be a good father to my own children. So how did you do it? Is there anything you wish you had done differently as a dad? What advice would you give young fathers? Well, first of all, thank you very much. My children are incredible people. They are incredible people. And I think that if I take any credit, it's for not getting in the way of them growing into the incredible people that God made them to be, and not trying to impose. I certainly tried to teach them values, but I didn't try to impose my vision of life on them and let them find their way as much as I possibly could, without their hurting themselves. You know, that was a good thing to do. But just to take the side question first, is there anything you would wish you'd done differently as a dad? Of course there is. Of course there is. Being a father requires you to be God, and none of us is. And so you make mistakes, and there are things you regret, and of course there are things you want differently. That's not the point. The point is, did you show up for the kid? Were you there for the kid? It's 85% showing up. And were you on their side? I mean, this was a big deal. My father was not on my side. And I remember when I first brought my daughter home from the hospital, I had thought like, oh, please don't let me be a better father than my father. And I brought my daughter home, and I thought, oh, that's too low a bar, because I know that I'm on my daughter's side, and I know I'm going to be in favor of her to succeed and be happy and do all those things. So here's what I know. If you picture yourself like a piano keyboard, your children are going to hit every single key. By the time they're finished, they will play every single key, good and bad. So I rapidly understood, because I understood this even before my daughter was born, that I had to make sure that the piano was in working order and was in tune. You have a problem with your dad that is probably playing into your sense of anger. You have a lot of kids. You don't have a lot of time to think. You should get that fixed. It might require therapy. It might just require some thought. You're absolutely right that you can preach Jesus all you want, but if what you're living is anger and resentment and hostility, that's what they're going to learn. They're going to learn your anger and resentment and hostility. They do not learn as much from what you say as from what you do and how you treat them, and especially how you treat your wife. I really believe that the first and most important thing you can do as a father is treat your wife with respect, because, you're the planet your kids live on. You're the planet your kids live on. Whenever I hear people get divorced and they say the kids are all right, I think, yeah, the kids are fine, as long as you accept you just blew up their planet. You just blew up their planet. They're not all right. They're not fine. You just ruined their lives. Don't kid yourself. Don't let yourself off the hook. So the same thing is true here. Treat your wife with respect and kindness and decency, and that's going to have a big effect. But you also got to treat your kids with patience and pay attention to what they need and what their needs are, and put yourself aside a little bit, which is always hard for men to do. But if you need help getting this thing about your father out of your mind, go get some help. You owe it to your children. You will. I can tell you this. I can tell you this as an older guy. I can tell you, when you get to the point where you're looking at your adult children, you will be so happy you took the time to work on yourself now when they need you, because now they're being formed. This is when, the little tree, this is where they get their shape from, and this will be with them forever. Stuff you do later, there's room to maneuver. If I make a mistake today, my son and my daughter can come to me and say, hey, you're making a mistake, and I have to listen to them. But then they have no power, and you're shaping them, and they're they're clay. They're like clay in your hands. So you've really got to take care of yourself. So get yourself some help, because you shouldn't be angry at your children all the time. Obviously, there are times when you want to beat them into the ground with your fists, but you still should not be. It shouldn't be an out of control anger inside you. That's coming from some other place.